Hey everybody, today is November 17th, 2023. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And you're hanging with Uncle.
How's it going?
Good. I want to start off. Today is my wife's birthday. I want to say happy birthday, baby. I love you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I had a great day.
Thank you for the banana bread.
See that big brand new TV in that
Delicious.
box? Yeah.
I did see the brand new TV.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice and sparkly. Also, don't forget to hit the like button.
And that subscribe button.
And the notification bell for whenever we go live in the future or whenever we post our videos after we're done going live so you can watch us later on in the day.
Yes.
Easy peasy. I think we've gotten that down. We kind of do our nonchalant way.
Right. Right.
So we got some interesting topics, stories, things, conversations to talk about because it kind of has like a backing to. They all have a backing to.
You know, you have a profile and courage, man, that I think we need to really, really put out there.
It's a PSA day. That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
But first, pay yourself because I absolutely did. Bought my kid his brand new stuff for Christmas, and I'm super excited. Pay yourself. That is also treating myself because I know he's gonna be happy.
Yes.
Okay, so now back to our show, but staying on the topic of children, we got to make sure we check our children and check our kids in their social groups and make sure that they are following life protocols. I say life because there was a sad story that happened the other day in a high school. A boy named, I believe, let me pull it up real quick. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I just had it too. He was defending his friend after school when his friend told him that he was going to get jumped later on in the day. Turns out that was the case. His friend was going to get beat up, so he prepared to go and defend himself. His last, I had his information right here. It's just lagging now. Lewis, last name Lewis. Lewis went and defended his friend, and it was 1 against 10 with 15 attendant. The 10 ended up jumping him and taking his life. He ended up dying in the hospital a few days later on.
For standing up for his friend.
He gets the badass award. Normally I give that out. He does. Because standing up for your friend is the ultimate goal. However, we got to check our children. These were age ranges from 13 to 17, fighting a 17-year-old Lewis, who is the one who passed. Like, the age range is astronomically insane,
now,
for one.
If you want to know how we view that, those kids that had to act in concert to attack one, you guys are a bunch of pussies. You're not men. That's something cowards do. If you're a man and you have a problem with someone, you confront them face to face and say, look, man, I have a problem. This is the issue. And, you resolve it. Hopefully diplomatically, but that's just the work of cowards what those guys did. You guys are pussies, and I have no respect for you.
Yeah, but Jonathan Lewis, Jonathan is his first name. He gets the badass award for standing up for his friend, but he was pronounced brain dead a few days later. But his dad is also speaking out for it. He's saying it's not necessarily just that these kids are getting arrested. 8 of the 15 of attendees have been. It's just more of a conversation of we can't just call it bullying anymore. There's abuse that's happening in school systems, and we need to check our children to understand if they understand what the difference of what bullying is and abusing and, again, not respecting life. So
a lesson I learned, if there's someone, less muscular, weaker, kind of a nerd, doesn't fit your mold, your job isn't to pick on them because they're different than you. Your job is to respect them and protect them because they don't have the ability to protect themselves.
But they have the knowledge.
And that's, that is how you develop
A good
character as a person.
When are we going to start having social conflict get resolved through social positivity instead of physical conflict? That became the solution for some reason. But I think that is most likely, that's what Dad said. The dad said that we need to start focusing on these social conflict issues and teaching our children how to figure out how to resolve those. It's okay to go tell a teacher. It's okay to go talk to your parents about what's going on, so we can also fix it because we are the adults.
Exactly.
Anyway,
moving on. Kind of really disappointed in our judicial system, man.
Okay.
First, Minnesota, there was a lawsuit. Now, remember, in these lawsuits, these are suits brought by voters, not by the secretaries of state, to keep Cadet Bone Spurs off the ballot. So there was a trial in Minnesota and New Hampshire. Both those states said, nope, he gets to be on the ballot for the primary. We're not going to keep him off. We're not going to apply the 14th Amendment, Clause 3. And Colorado just today.
There's an option to allow amendments or not? Is that what I just heard?
So the 14th Amendment says anyone, and I'm going to really paraphrase it and truncate it. Number one, to meet the elements, you have to have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution. Okay, Dave Bone Spurs do that. Check. I told Donald Trump to solemnly swear. He took an oath. He did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the Bible, which is a big deal, apparently.
Yes. And, that's kind of funny. And Congressman Raskin made a really good point, you hear these evangelicals in the right wing talking about, the Bible is number one, and then that's what we should be protecting, right? Mm-hmm. But it's funny. We don't put... If you're an elected official, you don't put your hand on the Constitution and swear to the Bible. You put your hand on the Bible and swear to protect the Constitution. So that's what it's about. It's Constitution first. That's what you take your oath to. So after having taken that oath, and it doesn't say if you have to be convicted, it says having participated in an insurrection against the government of the United States. Now, did he participate? I watched the whole thing on TV. I watched his speech at the Ellipse. I heard him whip the crowd into a frenzy. I heard him tell the crowd to go down to the Capitol and fight like hell.
Something about marching.
I heard him tweet out after they'd been there a couple of hours that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what needed to be done, and have them storming the halls where hang Mike Pence.
I heard in a video one guy responding to his tweets and shouting them as commands in the crowd. It's okay, we're done. The president has dismissed us now. Our commander has told us not to.
Or even while it was going on, the president sent us here. We're doing the will of the president. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and it doesn't say
was there.
And then here's another. It doesn't say
his plain commander.
It says or give aid and comfort. Right? Did he give aid and comfort?
He called them patriots.
In my opinion, he said yes. I'm giving you aid and comfort. I'm comforting you. I'm telling you we love you. You're special. If I'm reelected, I'm going to pardon you. Is that not giving them comfort, some peace of mind?
Is that going to happen?
But the thing is, he's promised. He's put it out there. So it gives hope. It gives that comfort like, hey, maybe I'm going to get out of jail. So just in my opinion, all the boxes have been checked. But I think the judges in this case, because these were trial by judge, bench trials, that the judges acted like spineless pussies and decided, no, we're going to let Cadet Bone Spurs stay on the ballot for the primary. We're not going to face that
public scrutiny.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
You guys are a bunch of sissies. I have no respect for you. And again, just remember in Colorado, The lawsuit was brought by 6 voters, 4 Republican and 2 non-affiliated. They sued the Secretary of State to keep him off the ballot. Government and party had nothing to do with this. So, let's look at it really for what it is. And in that regard, you're telling Republican voters, at least in the state of Colorado, I'm not familiar with who brought the lawsuits in Minnesota and New Hampshire, but you're telling them that, sorry, you're just going to have to work hard to make sure he doesn't win the primary in your state. And
not follow an amendment, by the way.
Yeah, and disregard, the 14th Amendment.
Which you're allowed to do, by the way, I guess. You're just disregard the amendment.
Apparently.
I'm just going to disregard the amendments real quick.
I just don't understand. I mean, and I know in Colorado they called DC Capitol Police, the guys who were on the front line fighting these rioters, these insurrectionists, these traitors to the Constitution. They called sitting members of Congress who were barricaded in the well and couldn't get out because they were surrounded by these assholes, testifying as to what happened. It was an insurrection because they were in the official capacity of certifying electoral votes. All the elements have been met. You can see it. I can see it. The blind man on the corner can see it.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous to me how spineless these judges are in not being proactive and respecting the will of the voters and saving our country by keeping him off the ballot. If he can't win those states, he can't win the Electoral College.
I mean, again, I just think it's very odd that you can just disregard amendments. That's where I'm just at. If I dig any deeper, I'll just get more upset about it because it's really just what I complained about from the beginning. Somehow, some way, law gets changed based on who's in power and why. Like, we're supposed to follow everything, apparently, but they don't get to follow everything. Like, just because they don't want to face either one, public scrutiny, or two, they firmly believe that he's going to win in Colorado. But you got to follow the cookie cutter laws here, the fundamentals of it. This is how our country is based off of and built, and we can just simply disregard that now. I don't know.
It's the people that brought this lawsuit. You're telling the people of Colorado that, sorry, you have to put up with this son of a bitch on the ballot. When they say we don't want him on here.
Yeah, they don't want it. Again, I've always said it's never for us. It's what they want, right?
Yeah, so just fuck you guys.
Yeah, no,
fuck
true.
you. I'm glad I don't live in Colorado. Fuck you, Judge Matthews.
And, again, it's not like I don't believe he'll ever win in Colorado ever, like in any shot.
That's not the point.
It's not the point. It's following along with that.
Follow the law
that you have in place.
Did
what laws
he
are, right?
participate in an insurrection of overtake the government?
Yes.
In my opinion, the answer is yes.
He played commander. He was up in the starship.
I watched it on TV unfold. I watched the whole fucking thing.
What is the difference of him being in his home and commanding and going up into a starship above us while his troops are down here invading us and telling them what to do through his phone? It's the same thing.
None.
Like, it's... I don't know.
It's just like... I'm looking forward for some kind of justice.
And yet...
And again, man, I didn't watch it on any major network television. I watched C-SPAN that just has cameras, and you could hear the rumblings of the rioters outside, and you could see them breaking into the well and rumbling through the desk of, sitting members of the Senate and the House, and taking the podium, where
looking through all the classified documents.
Everything, man. It's just like if that doesn't qualify as an insurrection to keep him off the ballot, then I guess I'll have to eat my hat.
I don't understand the idea that he's being charged all of these charges, still has yet to go through all these other cases, and he's allowed to continue. Like, it should be like, no, you have to do this.
I know.
I don't understand.
Crazy.
If I were to go to trial and be like, I'm running for president, I'm not allowed, I can't be here. I shouldn't be here. I'm running for president now.
You know,
I really am.
The thing, so
tweet it.
It's not unprecedented. There have been other candidates that have been under indictment that ran for president. I mean, in 2016, Rick Perry was under indictment when he was governor of the state of Texas, and he still ran.
Yeah.
You know, and
what's the success rate of that?
Honestly, he was doing really well until the debate when he goes, "There's 3 arms of government I would get rid of," and he named 2 and couldn't remember the third. And then after that, he was toast. But before that, he was doing really well.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
No, I just don't understand it. Again, moving the goalpost is what I've said a lot on this show. We're just moving it.
We're tired of this. You know, we're tired of it.
I just want consistency with my country, man. That's all I'm asking for.
Practice what you preach. This is what the law is.
Follow.
This is what he did.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
You know? Abracadabra. What else do you need to happen?
I got pulled over the other day. I was going above the speed limit. I did not protest and argue and say I went over the speed. I did not go over the speed limit. You didn't. No, fake news and blah, 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 blah. I accepted and understood that I was going over the speed limit.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I bet you that when the officer that pulled you over never once asked you what your political affiliation was.
No, sir.
It was just because of what was happening in front of him.
It literally was like, you're speeding? Yes. Like, literally that. Like,
it's all about accountability.
And then I explained to him what I was doing. It was
right.
Lunch break.
Anyway. You know, it's like...
And holding accountability is
I think that's a good segue, man, because...
I was going to say.
It's like... People are tired of this. People are tired of what's going on. They're tired of the death threats and the harassment. You know, like you said, man, we have... election workers. We have elected officials like our county recorders and county supervisors not running for re-election. We have poll workers that, count ballots, not doing this anymore.
Yep.
And in order for our government to succeed, remember, it's we the people. If we the people don't get engaged in civic engagement in our communities, government fails.
There are like fist fights that are like happening like not necessarily fist fights, but like people are standing up on each other in the Senate now. Like it's that stressful.
It really is, man.
Bad, honestly, because people are stepping down because of just the environment of it alone. Like, so they don't like the cult-like environment that's going on in our country. I can agree.
It's crazy. So, like we just said, the cop that pulled you over, there was not like, what's your voting affiliation?
No, it's like, bro,
these poll workers.
He said, "I want you to be safe."
They're there to do a job. Civic engagement is very important. So just think of how our society would collapse if nobody showed up for jury duty. Okay? Or if we didn't have poll workers counting ballots.
Right.
Or if we didn't have people, checking IDs and giving people their ballot to go to their booth and stand in and vote. And those are the people that keep things running, and they do it for free. Those are voluntary positions.
Right.
Remember that one year I sat as a poll worker? I volunteered and I sat at our local precinct and just watched voting. Didn't engage with anybody, wasn't supposed to. You were just an observer. And didn't see anything out of the ordinary. And when polls closed at 7:30, I stood in the back of the line at 7:30. and there were actually two people that tried to come in and say, "Come on, man, let me stand in line." I can't do it.
I can't.
I'm not going to be the one to justify your accusation how the voting is rigged.
Right.
It's not going to be me.
No.
And so, I mean, that was like the only real issue that I had. Mm-hmm. But again, if nobody was there to participate in that civic engagement. Mm. So that's how important it is and how stupid it is to threaten the people that keep the backbone of our government going. And when I say the backbone of it, I mean counting the votes.
Like, again, Colorado told these people, one, you are asking for this, and it's a no, and two, we're going to bend the law in order for us to say no about it. I think that's like the rap right there, because that's literally what they did. And the people obviously are not happy. I hope they are not happy, but the voting will show, obviously. But again, we just ask for everything to go the way it's supposed to, and it's not right now, especially with all these people again dropping out and starting to try to fight each other.
Yeah,
I don't. It's falling apart. But the funny thing is, the guy who's playing tough guy was the one who was, even though yes, I'm sure it's justified to hide during an insurrection, but he was.
All of them were hiding. Yeah. All of the members of Congress that could not get out were hiding. They had the gas mask pulled over their heads, mm-hmm. hiding under the chairs in the
which is kind of a back up to it being an insurrection instead of a tourist attraction, a tourist stunt.
Right.
That's what people have been trying to say. I don't know. It's just, I think that's our whole government in a nutshell. That's what we're talking about here. Like, it should not be this conversation. We should be talking about entertainment. But we're not. It's sucky stuff that keeps happening to us. And I don't know. I think we just need to change complete overhaul.
Honestly,
people dropping out is a good thing, I guess, because it's kind of giving that opportunity.
Well, so all right, so
in a way,
I will say no, not really. No. I think it's a deterrent. To me, it's like the same effect as witness intimidation.
I can see it being a deterrent. Like, people wouldn't want to go and be in Congress because of what's going on.
All I have to say is, if you really want to know the effect it's having on people, look at the lifelong civil volunteers in Georgia, Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman. Mm-hmm. That is the perfect example of what is going on. These women who were doing absolutely nothing had their reputations destroyed and now can no longer do the thing they really enjoyed doing, which was keeping the vote going and making sure the vote count went through and our democratic process continues. Yeah. All volunteer work from people who just want to see the process go. Mm-hmm. Not elected people who have a stake in the outcome of an election. It's just volunteers.
Yeah, stake, money, bets going on.
Right. So
gambling with it all. Like, it really is a personal benefit ideal that our government's ran by, and it sucks because it's not for us.
I can say, it's not like, and I didn't have a bad experience when I volunteered at the polls, mm-hmm. but it's something that is definitely necessary. I've just not been asked to go back and do it again, but I bet there's going to be a very big demand for people willing to get involved in civic engagement and make sure that voting in November next year goes very smoothly.
And to kind of back that, like, politics does affect things like that, like deterring people from wanting to be in government. Look at the nursing industry right now. There's a lot of people who are not applying in the nursing industry, and also there's a lot of people dropping out of the nursing industry because of the scrutiny it's receiving because of, like, how COVID went. And people's stance on that, and they don't want to deal with that kind of environment. And so there's a lot of people who are deterred of being nurses now these days because of that scene alone.
Notwithstanding, if you're a nurse at a hospital, It's just like working at an assembly line. Patients come in, you got to roll them out, in and out,
And there's less of them.
And there's less and less of them now, and they are overworked and underpaid.
Absolutely.
And they work 12-hour shifts,
which is absolutely insane. I don't even know. I can barely survive my 8. That's 4 more hours on top of it. I go 4 hours and it's halfway. I'm like, thank God. Like, it's not happening.
You know, the answer is bring back the trades. You know, if you want qualified people in positions, then don't make them spend damn near 6 figures to get a license to do the job that, just because somebody figured out a way to make a lot of money off of you to get a license.
Right.
You know.
No, I get it. I think it's time for our dumbass of the week.
You know, it is, man. And I'll go first this week because my dumbass is going to transition over from our election workers because Harrison Floyd, one of the 19 defendants charged in Georgia, very good chance he's on his way back to jail for witness intimidation. As a matter of fact, it was Harrison Floyd who arranged the contact for Ruby Freeman to go down to the police department, and they tried to coerce her to tampering in elections. So, you know, he's just so stupid. He's already been arrested. He has priors for battery. You know, for putting his hands on people. He assaulted the process server when he got served as a defendant in this case. So, I mean, he's just an idiot, a combative idiot. And because of that, because of his repetitive behavior along those lines, there's a very good chance he'll be the first person to have his bail revoked and have his...
the first? Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
And have his pretrial release be... revoked and be remanded into custody. So Harrison Floyd, you're a dumbass.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that one. My turn. This one's a tragic dumbass story. A man named of Matt Petgrave, hockey player, throughout the season has been warned about putting his skate above his hip while he's playing hockey, lifting his skate up in the air. Because, yes, skates are sharp. Skates are deadly. They literally sharpen them every quarter so that they're able to slide and glide among ice. It is thin enough to where it breaks the ice down into water that they're sliding across, and then it solidifies into ice behind them. That is how thin it is. Look it up. It's really interesting. Anyways, the man lifted his skate up again and intentionally kicked victim Adam Johnson in the throat with his ice hockey skate. Man ended up dying in the hospital later on, blood everywhere on the ice. Not unintentional at all. It was absolutely intentional. That is not a hockey move. Apparently he got hit beforehand. Honestly, as a hockey, not player, but like a person who has helped with hockey, like clubs and with past work experiences, I know if I were to get hit ever in the way that he did on the rink while I'm skating, I could easily rebalance myself and probably get ready to check the man appropriately if I were to get hit like that. It's unbelievable why he lifted his skate up in the air. I showed Gene earlier, and not a hockey move.
It was an intentional kick. You
Absolutely.
call it an intentional
towards
kick.
his face. Like it really. He bent his knee, and then the knee extended.
Yeah.
Simple. Anyways, that's my dumbass of the day, Matt Petgrave. That's fucked up.
Yep.
Anyways,
I think that's it
all the
for
time
this
that we
week.
have. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys can catch us next week. If you haven't seen us before and you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Come check us out next week. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
It's been Hanging with Uncle.
Be safe, be kind, and treat each other the way you